Hi Book Dragon, so I'm here to do a new video idea. So I decided to go through all of the books that I put on my 2025 various list, and I kind of pulled down the ones that I'm most still interested in reading. So I'm gonna call this my 2025 REDO TBR just because they're books that I didn't get to. And again, when I was making my list for 2025, I was putting like 40 books on there. That's like gonna be half the books I read, and there's always gonna be more stuff that's coming out. So here are the books that I really think that I just want to give another shot to, or at least try to prioritize. So I'm going to focus this little part on the books I don't have physical books on, and I probably won't get them because they are romances. I do have access to most of the audiobooks on this list. So the first book I'm actually currently reading, and it's The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose. I will attach a photo of that book here. Third book in the Maid series with the maid, Molly the Maid, and I am liking it. It's definitely a different story because it's really a past and present story. You're following Molly's grandma and all you're following Molly as she's trying to uncover this mystery, which I am really liking. So that one I'm currently reading. I don't know how much I'll get into it. I will probably finish it before the end of the year, but have not been listening to a lot of audiobooks just because I have been sick a little bit in the current timeline. So yeah. I also want to read Stealing for Keeps by Rebecca Jenchak. This is her YA book that just came out. I'll attach a photo of that book here. I mean, it came out early in the year, but I'll attach a photo. I've really liked Rebecca Jenchak's adult books, so this one's a book that I have had on my TBR, and Tori from Novel Life, she has been hyping her up, and she doesn't really read YA, so whenever she mentions ones, I do want to read it. And then I also have The Rival by Emma Lord. This was her adult book, or YA book, that I didn't read last year. It's a Rivals to More Romance, and I really do like her book, so I'll attach a photo of that one here. Then, and then the next book that I do want to add to my TBR is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is her new one, and sorry, you're gonna have my puppies right here. I didn't hear anyone talk about this, good or bad. I think I heard a lot of bad comments, but I don't do reviews because I tend to like books that no one else likes. So I have Sounds Like Love on here that I really didn't get around to, so I'm gonna attach a photo of that book here. Shush. So I'll attach a photo here. Again, I don't know much about it, what it's about, but it is one that I do still want to read, so that is one that I'm very excited for. And then another book that I don't have a physical copy of currently is The Wildest Things by Andrea Hanna. This is a Snow White retelling. I will attach a photo of that book here. My dog is right here. So yeah, so that's another one that I don't have a physical copy of. And then every other book on this list, I think, and then Book Boyfriend by Emily Webley and Austin Sigmund Broken. I didn't hear anyone talk about this book, so I will touch a photo of that book here. Those are all the books that I don't have physical copies of. All of the other books I'm going to kind of go through rather quickly. I do have physical copies of. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to them. I may get around to them at the end of the year, we don't know, but these are the books that like I have physical copies of that I just didn't get around to this year. So let's get into those. So here's the first stack of books. I tried to make these like obvious in my room, so when I'm looking at books, I know what list they're all on. So I have The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Abigail Hain-Wen, and I really do like this cover. This was one of the ARCs I got that I just wound up getting a physical copy from Fairy Loot. And to be honest, I love my Fairy Loot edition so much that I sometimes don't want to read them because then I have to get rid of them if I don't like them, but this is the one that I would like to read. The Gods Time Forgot is a book that I met the author at Comic-Con, and I remember applying for the ARC and not getting it. This cover is very pretty, and I really do want to read it, so that's why it's still on this list. And then The Saga of the Bones, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.E. Schwab. This was a book that I got so long ago. I got this like 2 Comic-Cons ago and just never read it, but now I have a really pretty edition, so that's why it's still on this list. And then we have One Last Breath by Jeannie Meyer Saint. This is a mystery thriller that has some supernatural elements to it. I like the first book she ever wrote, and then I didn't like the second book, so I kind of gave up, but then I got this at the Golf Fest last year and just kind of are keeping it. I really do want to read it though, so. And then we have Den of Liars by Jessica S. Olsen. This is one that I had a NetGalley book and I had a physical copy of, and I do want to read it. I have read one other book by this author, Forgery of Roses. It was like a retelling that I really did like, and this does have like thieves involved, and I really do want to read it. And then the book that I should be reading like immediately is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owens. This is on my romantasy TBR as well, because I think it has a powerless main character, and at this point by book 3 will be out and I still haven't read book 1. It becomes a problem. And then there are always a couple of books that I give at ALA that like I want to read and I have heard no one talk about. So one was This Fatal Kiss by Alicia Jinskia, which she writes horror, and I have never heard anyone talk about this book in specific, but I do want to read it. So that is why it's on here, and it's a green cover. So, and then we have another mystery thriller on here is The Meadowbrook Murders by Jessica Goodman, which I still do want to read. And I do have, normally when I get sick, I tend to read physically mysteries and thrillers a lot. And then the other one is Soul of Shadows by Emma Noyes, which is like Stranger Things meets Atlas 6 meets Vampire Diaries. And I really am intrigued by this. But I remember I was reading it, I was really struggling with the format. So I may see if I can get it on like a physical copy, because this is harder to read for me. Not impossible, but yeah. So that was the other one. And now let's get into the other stack. Okay, so these are a couple of other ones that I just forgot I had. So we have Where Shadows Bloom by Catherine Bankswell. I really do want to find her other book, but this is a sapphic story and it does have a knight in it, which would work for our fantasy, but I don't know if I'm going to read this for that or not. We also do have Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. I started this during the Get a Clue readathon and put it down. So I do want to go back. It does have trials. It's not an academic setting, so I may count this for romantasy bingo. And then we have Love at Second Sight by F.T. Lukens. I really like some of their books and I disliked other ones, but this one was an arc that I got from Comic-Con 2 years ago. And then we have The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgins, which I've heard such mixed reports. People have loved this and hated this book so much, so I just want to give it a shot. And then my friend Kate Jacobs wrote a book called The Princess Knight, which I really do want to get around to, and I just, again, have started it, put it down, and then really need to get back to it. And then we have Illusions of Fire by Anisha Sharma. This has been on a lot of TBRs. It would actually tick off a lot of things because it is a NetGalley book. It was on a challenge, and so yeah. And then we have Brandon Sanderton's Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, which I really do want to read because I heard that this is more of a romantasy book. So yeah, those are the books that like I wish I would have read and I really want to focus on. So when we do my TBR, we're going to kind of check in on all these lists and kind of make a goal. But right now, these are the books. So let me know in the comments, what is a book you should have read in 2025 and didn't, and I will talk to you soon. One of the ones I'm most upset about is this book because I know her and she's a lovely person. So, alright, I will talk to you guys soon for another video. Bye, book friends.